So today we are going to make a holiday cream cheese roll. And I know I haven't gotten my video out yet for the regular cream cheese roll, but that is coming, and this is just a variation of it. So I want to give a shout out to the original recipe creators from the YouTube channel, Allergies Bite but Taste Good. So they made a completely unsweet cream cheese roll, and they use a few different ingredients than what I use, but their the method and everything on how it all got put together and came about and everything, really kudos, great channel. I'll be sure to link that with the original recipe in the description. So instead of cream cheese, I use ricotta cheese. It's a little bit lower in carbohydrates, and I do use sweetener because we feed this to not all carnivore people, but carnivore-ish keto people, so they want a little bit of sweet in there. And then I also don't just like make it plain, so I add cinnamon and depending on the type that I'm doing, either lemon, or I even did one with cocoa powder and chocolate chips and stevia sweetened chocolate chips for while we were on vacation, and that was a huge hit. So quite a few variations. I think I've really kind of tweaked it and made it my own, but I still want to give credit to the original recipe creators because we all need to collaborate, and it's great to have other channels like that where we can kind of get creative juices going. So I have whipped up 7 egg whites, and you want to whip them till they're like really stiff like this. And then we are going to take, I need to grab one thing. So I was looking for my vanilla. I thought I had everything out here, but I didn't have my vanilla. So the next thing that we're going to do is we are going to take, try to free up some room. We are going to take 7 egg yolks. Obviously it's the other part of the 7 egg whites. Oh, and when I whip up egg whites, I like to add cream of tartar because I just feel like it gives it, it just helps them stay a little bit stiffer. So I just used 1 teaspoon.
So fluffy.
So we are going to dump in the food processor here 7 egg yolks. Zoe wanted to help me, so all right.
This egg yolk isn't mashed.
That's okay, it doesn't need to be mashed. All right, so 7 egg yolks in the food processor, a 1/2 cup of ricotta cheese, 1 package of cream cheese, it doesn't have to be softened, but if you can leave it out for about a 1/2 hour or so before, it just makes it easier. While she's getting that, we want to add half a teaspoon of salt. I like Redmond's real salt. You can order it right on Amazon. You can find this size in the grocery stores. All of them. Walmart carries it. Or you can order right from Redmond Real's site, and they've got a bunch of other different ones like smoked salts and whatnot. So we're going to use a 1/2 teaspoon of salt. Now the secret ingredient is meat flour, and I will link the video, I think it's going to be right up here, to the chicken meat flour. I have not gotten my beef or pork meat flour done yet, not the video anyway. Those will be coming. So we want 3 tablespoons of meat flour. It can be whatever meat flour that you use. You could probably even use pork panko. You're just going to have a little bit more, you're going to have a little bit more of the texture in the cake. This is really fine, like flour. So, well, that's what the cream cheese, that's what the roll part is. It's a rolled up cake. This one is for the holiday one, so this is for, this is going to be the cranberry one. Oh, can you go get the dried cranberries? I think they're over there. So you want three tablespoons of the meat flour. Not yet, not yet. All right. We're going to use a half a cup of the sugar alternative of your choice. Try to stay with an allulose or a monk fruit erythritol blend or a stevia blend like Swerve. Those are all fine. No. Try not, oh, can you go get another half cup? Try not to use, xylitol or, it's marketed under birch sugar as well, especially if you have animals in the house because xylitol can be deadly to animals, especially dogs. So you really want to be careful with those. And it can really mess up some people's stomachs. So especially if you're going to be having other people eat this and you don't know how they might respond, probably best not to use the xylitol. We've done that in the past and we've ended up with people getting really bad diarrhea and stomach cramps and stuff, so not really a good idea. Allulose is typically my sweetener to go to because it is a non-caloric, it's a non-caloric sweetener, but it browns real nice and it's not a sugar alcohol, so it doesn't really necessarily mess with most people's digestions. Everyone's going to be different. And then obviously, you know, things like sucralose or aspartame and stuff, I typically don't recommend. They also raise insulin, so they're not really a good choice. Now, my one daughter does not care for allulose, so we're going to be doing a half and half. We're going to do half of the allulose and half of the erythritol monk fruit, so it's going to be a quarter cup of each. But if you don't have someone that's picky like that, I would just do a half a cup of your favorite sweetener. So you're going to fill a quarter cup of each. No, that doesn't fit in there. You gotta use a spoon. You gotta use a spoon.
I thought I would try.
This is a fun one to just let your kids kind of be able to cook with you too, so. Sometimes my children.
Not me.
Back to the recipe. All right. And then the other thing that I do that is optional is I just do a squirt of stevia glycerite. It doesn't get bitter like stevia does. I have this, please stop. And it's just about a teaspoon that I do. It just adds a little without adding the bulk of the sweeteners. And then we want 2 teaspoons. Where's my teaspoon? I still need more new measuring spoons. Okay, so we're going to do 2 teaspoons of the vanilla. All right, and then we're just going to mix this really well with in the food processor until it's mixed really, really well.
Did you put this on like this?
Mm-hmm.
How do you put it down?
And you have to put it up here first before you do that. Please. We're going to put a little bit of dried cranberries in. I dried these in the dehydrator myself with sweetener with the allulose.
Very basic.
Alright, so that's mixed up really well. And I just love the red flecks in this. And there's still going to be some chunks of the cranberries. Actually, I might see if I can mix it just a little bit more.
Alex really just made it.
Alright.
Now do you put it in this big bowl?
Yep, so now we're going to put it in this bowl, and then we're going to fold. We're going to fold the egg whites into the egg yolk.
And then you pour this.
Yep, pour that right in there. All in there. So then what you're going to do is you just put the egg whites right in this mixture. Okay. And then you're just going to kind of... No, I'm going to do this first. So you're just going to kind of fold it in. You want to try and keep the air in the egg whites, what's possible. So what I found is kind of a figure 8 type thing seems to help. But use your favorite folding technique, whatever. As long as you're not like whipping it or, you know, beating the heck out of it.
With the lemon ones, the cranberry sauce that you made, it tastes good.
Yeah.
Mom, did you go sleep?
Mm-hmm. All right. So this looks pretty well mixed. Still pretty floofy. And it's pretty. Look at all those red flecks in there. It's so gorgeous. All right. Now what we're going to do. I'm running out of room on my island, so. I have a prepared cookie sheet, baking sheet, rimmed. This is like a 9 by 13, I think. So what you're gonna do is you're just gonna pour the batter in. You'll smooth it out. Let me just pour it in. Pour the batter in. Now, if you wanted to use this to make just like a regular cake, you certainly could. Just put it in deeper but shorter dishes or baking pans, like a regular cake pan, and adjust the cooking time for probably a little bit longer.
Wonder how these will taste. I've never tried cranberry.
That's good. Alright, I'm just going to finish smoothing this out. I did spray the parchment paper with some avocado oil just to hopefully discourage any sticking. It doesn't really stick too bad, but sometimes you never know. So this is going to go into the oven at 350 for about 30 minutes.
It's okay. Not bad. For rawness.
Alright, so that's going to bake for about 30 minutes. We did it before at about 23 minutes, and it seemed done, but it wasn't really done enough. So we decided to increase the cooking time. So it's all going to depend on your oven. But after the 30 minutes, it's going to come out, and it's going to need to cool for about 10 minutes. And during that cooling time, we'll make the filling. So we'll be back in a bit. All right, and our cake is done. Doesn't that look beautiful? Beautiful, beautiful. All right, so this is going to go over on a wire rack, and I'm going to take it out of the baking pan. And I'm going to, don't mind my messy kitchen, I'm trying. All right, we are back for the cream cheese roll. So the cake has cooled much longer than 10 minutes because I got caught up in doing other stuff, but that's life. And so I'm going to flip it onto a towel and roll it. Then it's going to set for about a half an hour or so, and then we'll make the filling and fill it and re-roll it, and then put it in the fridge. All right, so let me just turn the camera down this way. I'm running out of room on this island. All right. So you just put it on there. And because it baked and it browned, you don't see the pretty red in it anymore, but that's okay. You'll taste it. Well, you won't taste it. I'll taste it. Okay. So, I sprinkled just a little bit of monk fruit sweetener on this just to ensure that it wouldn't stick to the towel. And then basically, let me move you back. There we go. I'm just going to roll it. And it may or may not break, but if it does, it'll be okay because it will be glued back together with the filling. And this is breaking, I can already feel it, but that's okay. All right, so I'm going to set this back on the wire rack to set for about 30 minutes, and then I'll be back. Hi, I hope you're enjoying this video. If you are, please be sure to like and share. Also make sure that you're subscribed to my channel and that you hit that notification bell so that anytime I upload a video or have a new recipe, you'll be notified. You can be one of the first to watch. Thanks, and enjoy the rest of the video. So now it is time to make the filling for the cream cheese roll. And For that, you will need cream cheese, heavy whipping cream, and butter. And then we will be using some cranberry sauce. And I will link the video here for that. So it's pretty easy to make. I just have to get the heavy whipping cream out of the fridge. I thought I did that already. So it's 1 block cream cheese, 1/4 cup heavy whipping cream. We're going to use roughly 1/4 cup of the cranberry sauce and 2 tablespoons of butter. And then we'll use roughly 1/4 cup of the sweetener of your choice. The sweetener, the sugar alternative sweetener. So we're going to run it through the food processor and then spread it on the cake. All right. And I still do a mixture just because my one kid doesn't like straight allulose. So to make her happy, otherwise I would just use straight allulose. So you're just going to blend this until it's nice and smooth. So next up, we are going to unroll the cake and then spread the frosting on, or the filling. Now I cooked this for 30 minutes, and because the last time that I cooked it for 25 minutes wasn't enough, but I think it cooked a little bit too long. So next time I make this, I will probably just cook it for 23 minutes. I mean, not 23, 28 minutes. So 3 minutes longer, and just kind of watch. Because it really did, I could feel it breaking while I was rolling it. It'll be fine, and certainly still yummy. So you just gently, let's see. Alright, so you just gently unroll. And it did not break all the way through, which is good. Well, some of it did. But that's okay, because we're gonna... Yeah, this was overcooked just a little. And I've not had one break this bad. I have them crack a little. So next time, definitely just keep an eye on it. Every oven is different. But it's not bad. It's not too bad. So now we're gonna roll this, but you leave the towel out of it.
Why do we have to decide Carnivore? You go to us every Carnivore, or do any refrigerated things? That's what too. Which of these Eastern European countries was not part of former Yugoslavia? I don't know what Yugoslavia is. Serbia, Montenegro, or Albania?
All right. So the roll needs to get placed on a cookie sheet, and then it's gonna go. Needs to go in the fridge for about 3 hours. This is actually going to go in overnight because it's 8 o'clock, and so I am going to wait until morning to cut it. We're also going to make a glaze for it. Normally I wouldn't make a glaze, and when we make these, my daughter likes them with her tea in the morning, and so we just make the standard one just so she can have a healthy, like, breakfast cake. But we don't make it very sweet. She likes the lemon one. Since this is a holiday one and I would like to take it with to Thanksgiving dinner tomorrow, I'm going to add a little bit of a glaze to it. Plus that'll make it look a little prettier just because of the breaks. So this is going to go in the fridge for 3 hours or whenever you get around to cutting it. So we'll be back in the morning. Okay, so the cream cheese roll has been in the refrigerator for overnight. Usually it only needs to like set for about 3 hours, but it was late, so I went overnight. And let's take a look at it. I made some glaze to go to drizzle on it. This is not something that I normally do. It's just because it's a holiday one, and I'm going to take it to to Thanksgiving. So I thought I would just add a little bit more of a touch, but we like it just the way it is. So, on into this sweet roll. I'm going to transfer it right over to this cutting board. That looks pretty. All right. So it's nice and solid. It did break, but I mean, that's okay. And like I said, we're gonna just adjust the cooking time. But it looks gorgeous. I'm gonna steal a. Tastes really good too. So normally this would be it. You just cut and enjoy. And then you could cut and put in the fridge or just leave it as a log. So I made the glaze pourable. If you want to like spread it on, you certainly could do that. But I really wanted to just kind of pour it. So now this should harden, and it should harden rather quick because it's chilly in my kitchen. Into a nice white topping. I'm going to kind of fill in that crack. All right. Just get a little more on this end. Okay. Bring it a little closer. So that is the holiday cream cheese roll. I will cut it in just a little bit as soon as the glaze sets. And sorry, the lighting is not the best in here because I have a lot of windows, which I love, but it makes the lighting funky. So these cream cheese rolls, you can leave whole and just cut as you want a piece. I would store in the fridge because they have the cream cheese in them. They freeze really nicely, so I had made a whole bunch for vacation and came home with about 1.5 rolls left total out of the 4 different types that I did. And it's we weren't going to eat them fast enough, so I froze them. And then my daughter decided she wanted to have 2 with her tea each morning, and so she would pull them out and set them on the counter. And by the time she was done with her morning routine and ready for her tea, it was all thawed and turned out great. You can warm them, but they do get very soft, so if you're going to warm them, then you probably want to eat them with a fork rather than by hand. Other than that, I will show you a cut piece in a moment. So the glaze is pretty much set. It still is a little bit tacky. And how I made the glaze was I did a 1/4 cup of my powdered allulose. And if you have it granulated, all you have to do is run it through like a blender or a grinder and it'll powder it right up. And about 1.5 tablespoons of, well, I guess 1 tablespoon-ish of, I used macadamia nut milk. You can use a thin unsweetened coconut milk, an almond milk. You don't want to use heavy whipping cream because it's just a little bit too heavy. I mean, you probably could. I don't know. I just did the macadamia nut milk. I like fat content in that. And then you just stir that together. If you're looking for it to be more spreadable, you can use a little more allulose or a little bit less of the liquid. And then once it's all mixed well, I did about a teaspoon or so of vanilla. That was it. I don't use it that often because we really don't like the sweet that much anyway. We try to stay more to the savory side of things, but it's the holidays and every now and then. So I'm going to cut a piece and let me show you real quick. So that's what it's looking like. The glaze isn't turning like white like I was hoping that it would, but that's all right. So I'm gonna grab my knife. Let's cut a couple pieces together. This would look so lovely on a dessert tray or for breakfast, Christmas morning. Will this just be like really, really lovely? Okay. So that is it. It's a little time consuming to make, but it's really not. It's just that you have to leave it set for long periods of time. All right, gonna take a taste. I have my coffee. It's really good. Very good flavor. Super good. So, I hope you found this helpful. I will be doing some videos with Natalie with the other flavors because she wanted to learn how to make these. But really, this is the base of it, and you're just changing up the extracts and, you know, the flavorings. So, but it is nice to just have the variety. Okay, I thank you for watching, and come back to my kitchen and we'll cook again soon.